we smoked a drug boat, and there's 11 narco-terrorists at the bottom of the ocean. And when other people try to do that, they're going to meet the same fate. We knew exactly who they were, exactly what they were doing, what they represented, and why they were going where they were going. Coming from a drug cartel is no different than Al-Qaeda. And they'll be treated as such as they were in international law.
Was there an imminent kinetic attack that warranted military action?
She's asking a question.
Okay.
Got it.
You spoke today at the graduation ceremony about how Fort Benning forged you as a person. What does Fort Benning mean to you?
Being a small part of a long legacy, that it was generations of soldiers before me that were willing to go through Fort Benning, that had other options and chose the prime of their life to do tough things and then go around the world and defend us at the cost of their life. I'm no different than any one of them. I showed up here a lowly second lieutenant. Not that second lieutenants are lowly, they're not, but a brand new second lieutenant. And this place helped forge me. And the next class behind me, and the next class behind me, and this class right here, and the classes that come through in the future. And that's why we thought the name Fort Benning is important. Not because we don't like Hal Moore. Hal Moore's a hell of a warrior. We want to honor him any way we can. But the legacy of my grandfather, my father, I did, the next, maybe my sons, your daughters, whomever would go through Fort Benning, it's a connection to the past. People are drawn to that and tied to that. It's a throughput, a through line on the warrior ethos. And so it's as President Trump says, it's common sense to do stuff like this.
Mr. Secretary, how did you determine the 11 people on the boat were narco-terrorists?
We knew exactly who they were, exactly what they were doing, what they represented, and why they were going where they were going.
How did you know that?
Why would I tell you that?
Can you clarify
We have
something?
plenty of ways to determine how we know who is who.
Can you clarify something you said at lunch? You said you, at the top, have the authority to go to authorize a target on a drug vessel, but that could be shifted down? What do you mean by that?
It's a simple, if you understand the military, you understand that decisions about strikes can be made at different levels, and you give authorities based on the strategic implications. Sometimes those authorities are held higher because they have strategic implications. Whenever possible, you want to push those authorities down to those making those decisions. So because of the strategic implications, those decisions will be made at higher levels, but eventually, we have great trust in our Navy, in our special operators, in our Army, and our Air Force and others to make those decisions, and they will.
So eventually,
and they'll make them effectively.
Eventually, it'll be authorized at a lower level? Is that what you're saying? You're giving commanders at a lower level the...
I didn't say anything like that. I said we smoked a drug boat, and there's 11 narco-terrorists at the bottom of the ocean, and when other people try to do that, they're going to meet the same fate. Thank you all. One more question.
When should we expect a global force posture review?
It's a good question. It is in process. It's important, and it's going to be predicated on the threats we see around the world, and the answer's in the name and how we want to be postured properly for them going forward. Thanks for joining us here.
Can I ask a Fort Benning question?
You got a Fort Benning question?
Yes. What does it mean to come back here and visit troops here today?
It's neat. It's a little bit of a coming home. I mean, I only did 4 months here. So many other people did so much more than that. Mm-hmm. But to just see the buildings, see the troops, see myself with that gold bar here, again, it reminds you that you're just one small piece. But you add all those pieces together, and that's the face of freedom. That's the deterrence that President Trump talks about. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
The Department of Justice and State Department are announcing a historic $50 million reward for information leading to the arrest of Nicolas Maduro. Maduro uses foreign terrorist organizations like TDA, Sinaloa, and Cartel of the Suns to bring deadly drugs and violence into our country. To date, the DEA has seized 30 tons of cocaine linked to Maduro and his associates, with nearly 7 tons linked to Maduro himself, which represents a primary source of income for the deadly cartels based in Venezuela and Mexico. Cocaine is often laced with fentanyl, resulting in the loss and destruction of countless American lives. The DOJ has seized over $700 million of Maduro-linked assets, including 2 private jets, 9 vehicles, and more. Yet Maduro's reign of terror continues. He is one of the largest narco-traffickers in the world and a threat to our national security. Therefore, we've doubled his reward to $50 million. Under President Trump's leadership, Maduro will not escape justice, and he will be held accountable for his despicable crimes. If you have any information to bring this criminal to justice, call 1-202-307-4228 or go online.
8 military ships with 1,200 missiles and a nuclear submarine are targeting Venezuela. This is an extravagant, unjustifiable, immoral, and absolutely criminal, bloody threat. They have wanted to escalate what they call maximum pressure, which in this case is military, and in response to maximum military pressure, we have declared maximum preparedness for the defense of Venezuela. President Donald Trump, you must be careful because Marco Rubio wants to stain your hands with blood, South American, Caribbean, Venezuelan blood. They want to drag you into a bloodbath, to tarnish the Trump name forever with a massacre against the Venezuelan people, with a terrible war across South America and the Caribbean. This would be a full-scale continental war. They want to stain Donald Trump's hands with blood. On a human level, if you ask Nico, that is me, what message I would send to Mr. Donald Trump, President of the United States, I would say, seek peace. In us, you will always find a friendly hand for peace, for development, for independence, for dignity, and with respect, showing the Venezuelan constitution. The pursuit of regime change is exhausted and has failed as a policy worldwide.
We smoked a drug boat, and there's 11 narco-terrorists at the bottom of the ocean, and when other people try to do that, they're going to meet the same fate. We knew exactly who they were, exactly what they were doing, what they represented, and why they were going where they were going.